I've returned to this room and I'm in the game mode 2, which means I can't be hurt, at least I hope not, given my little neighbour here, who is an absolutely ferocious beast. I managed to pick up all the scrolls from this area, and there was one down in the passageway leading up here. And when we look at this, if we go to J, you can see that we've got all these different things. Now, we've got Quarry correspondences, and this is Arbiter Hunt paw print. Wonderful. Hard to miss this Arbiter fellow, the way he was dressed. Spotted the scroll case on him right away and stopped the cart. He declined surrender and fled towards the salt mouth, some old swallow hole that water's been disappearing into for years. Looks like it's taken a liking to the Undland lackeys as well. Whether he broke his neck on the way down or drowned doesn't much matter. He's dead, and the sealed agreement went with him. No getting that back without putting our own lives on the line, and you're not paying us enough to. We dealt with the rest of them cleanly, guards, attendants, the whole lot, stacked the bodies in their own cart and sent it tumbling into the salt mouth too. Wasn't anybody else on the road to see it happen. We didn't recover your document, call it a failure if you like, but nobody else on God's green earth will be able to get their hands on it either. Nothing that goes into that pit has ever come back out, not in living memory. No copy and no witnesses means no dispute. You can do what you set out to do all the same. Wow. The next page. No further action is required from Claw and Fang. Now this is a banner we don't have, and we expect full payment at the last drop-off before the month's end. Isaac of Currytalk. Next page. Now this is Gage Goldfinch of the House Most Splendorous. I am writing this for the sake of record, if nothing else. The storm damage is worse than expected. The lower shafts are flooded beyond what the pumps can manage, and the exploratory cuts we discussed have been compromised with workers inside. A recovery effort would require additional hands, additional time, and additional movement across the access roads. Given the estate's continued oversight, I cannot see a way to proceed without involving questions we are not prepared to answer. The men trapped below were working sections not listed on the primary survey. Any attempt to retrieve them would require admitting to those works. I assume you understand the implications better than I do. So something was going on here that was being hidden. I will do what I was appointed to do and see the site closed cleanly. Natalia already considers the quarry unremarkable, and the storm makes a perfect cover. Gage's instructions. Foreman Jack Foster, your appointment reflects our confidence in your discretion as much as your competence. This operation requires both. This site exists to extract salt and potash. I agree with that. It must continue to do so in a manner that is utterly and totally unremarkable. It does not need to be profitable. That said, you are already aware that our houses have carried with them an unresolved matter for some time. Your secondary objective is to retrieve the authoritative copy of the trade agreement made between the former matriarchs Gertrude Goldfinch and Anastasia of Svanmark. So it's obvious that Goldfinch and Svanmark are the two people debating this quarry, but Claw and Fang, I don't know whether they're hired mercenaries or a different house, or who hired them. It is believed to be contained within a wax-sealed brass scroll case, as was standard Unland practice at the time. Enclosed with this letter you will find a document. It is a report of the failed hunt by your wild folk colleagues, commissioned at the time of the Unland Arbiter's disappearance. Use it to determine where the authoritative copy was lost. It will also make plain the degree to which the Svanmark estate has wronged us, and why I am so intent on seeing this noble dispute settled. They have won over us in court with a forgery of the agreement and demanded unreasonable tolls to use the roads on our own lands for many years now. The copy will allow us to force arbitration on you and strip the estate of its standing. House Svanmark will continue to observe our operations, treat their auditors as collaborators, not adversaries. Any overt conflict would defeat the purposes of this venture. If staff is lost and retrieval proves impossible, without drawing attention, abandonment of this site is preferable. Wow! Next page. Natalia, addressed to J. Foster. I have completed my most recent inspection of the Halite Quarry and its surrounding works. I will admit to some relief at finding nothing of particular note. The operation is exactly as it claims to be, a modest halite and potash site, completely run and of no, oh gosh, I'm making a mess of this one, competently run and of no special interest to the Svanmark estate beyond its continued compliance. I cannot help but remark on the figures. The costs of operation appear to outweigh the returns by a comfortable margin. I imagine this would be far more concerning if House Goldfinch were not so well positioned elsewhere. Still, it is curious to see a noble house expand this much effort for so little gain. I can't say I miss the days where old Gertrude stood at the head of your house, but the Goldfinches were certainly more of a force to be reckoned with during that time. It's no matter. I know you have enough in your coffers to survive until Gage finally grows up. The access roads remain in good condition, thanks in no small part to Svanmark maintenance. Given the remoteness of the site, I would encourage a greater appreciation for the infrastructure that allows materials, equipment and workers to reach it all. Without our continued oversight, I suspect operations here would be considerably more difficult. Conditions underground are adequate if somewhat lax. Drainage channels have been cut with great enthusiasm and too little care, and several supports show signs of wear. I recommend addressing these issues in due time, though I trust you understand that any major improvements to access or reinforcement will require coordination with the estate and may not be prioritised given more broader regional needs. In summary, the quarry presents no cause for concern. It is dull, inefficient and largely beneath notice. I see no indication of secretive extraction of rare metals, as my superiors had suspected, and no reason for further scrutiny at this time. Do extend my regards to your workers. They seem diligent, if perhaps overly optimistic about the future of this venture. Under the eye of the Crown of Umland, Natalia of Svanmark, auditor in service to the Svanmark estate. So, what we have here is, I think it's triple layered. First of all, there is something going on here. These are piles of bony soil, so many bones. This looks to be a defense system to try to keep this area dry. Obviously the water has come in, and if you remember, they were saying that there was unauthorized tunneling that had led to leakage, which seems to be flooding this cammon. Now up here, although this is filled in, it looks as if this was where the second lot of visitors arrived, where their cart was pushed down into this area by the Fang and Claw people. So we've got the original people, and it seems to be their bones are here. And I wonder what they were trying to extract. Because they were trying to extract rare metals, I do wonder whether we shouldn't, when we have better armour, dig down under here and try to find out what was under all the bones and the debris. But then on top of that, there's a layer of people here who obviously were in the cart, who've been sort of thrown in and basically murdered. In here we've got a chandelier, which I covered, backpacks, alchemist hat and things like that. Nothing extraordinary. There is nothing else here that would suggest the mining of rare minerals. But I found scrolls over here. There are bodies over here. Can you see this body here? And one or two outlying bodies, and we may have a clue to them. They are, the first incursion is the bony soil. The second incursion is the cart with the accord on. But then if we press J again and go to the salt-stained scrawlings, first entry, we expected Jackal to pull out every stop to get us out of here. We really did. He was one hell of a taskmaster, but we knew in our hearts that he cared for us. He joined us in song and striking at salt. You just know he was a labourer once. That's why I wish I could say any of us are surprised by this outcome. Hale says he spent 3 days or so trapped inside a coal mine once, and the only reason they freed him is because they wanted to get to the vein he was stuck with. But we've all heard the conversation between Jackal and that Svanmark woman. The quarry isn't turning a profit. They're not coming back for us. Second entry. The pumps were never turned back on, we don't think. The water just keeps finding new ways in, and you can see it all coming in all around. We can hear water running somewhere up ahead. After we heard a collapse from the same direction, it's hard to keep time down here. Maybe we ought to have had more faith in Jackal. We're going to pick up our tools and continue digging in that direction. Elner is insisting he knows that old Foster wouldn't leave us if he had a choice, but Joran keeps saying that's not his choice to make in the first place. So this is the third incursion. What are they looking for? Farewells. Oh my gosh. This is for Elric and the boys. I thought I would come home with salt money and sore hands, and that would be all. I'm sorry I did not. I love you more than I ever said. Above everything, do not let them tell you I was careless. Hail. For my sister Mara. Keep the house if you can. Do not sell it even if they pressure you. I worked hard to get us a roof over our heads in Yarrowford. I only wish I could be buried there instead of here. And more than that, I hope this text never has to see the light of day, and that rescue will break through these walls shortly. Please tell Father I forgive him. I don't think I was ever angry with him. Elna. To my mother, I'm sorry to have worried you so much. I reckon I'm responsible for more than a few of your grey hairs, and I'd be surprised if you didn't have a head full by the time you hear about the closing. I fear old age will have taken you long before you're found, but I still find some catharsis in imagining you reading this someday. Your bread is still the greatest thing I've ever tasted, and the memory of it has carried me through the roughest of shifts with a smile on my face. Joran. For Thomas, I just know that you will be angry when you hear this. Put it to good use for once and fix the roof. Roland and the girls will appreciate it. The leakage is worse on the eastern side. You'll find it easily after the Thorlina. Oh my gosh. Final entry. The sound led us true enough. We broke into a wide hollow. Lost 2 good people in doing so, and for a moment we thought we'd done it. The air actually moved here, and the water had places to drain into. There are bones down here, old ones, piled and scattered, half buried in salt and silt. Whatever this place used to be, it wasn't a way out. Is this what they had sent us looking for? The ceiling is too high to climb, and the walls are too slick, and we are also exhausted. I am choosing to believe Jackal doesn't know we're here. I pray to God for that, as the others will let me have this small comfort before this cavity becomes our tomb as well. Being the only one out of the 4 of us who knows how to write, I'm going to jot down what they all once said, in case they realize we are missing and come for us too. Too late. Oh my gosh. And the last thing is the authority of the faithful and binding record of the trade agreement by the Svanmark estate in House Goldfinch. So that is the agreement, and it is down here where it was sent. I mean, this is extraordinary. So the third lot of people, presumably the ones who were panning, have been sent down to look for the agreement, but then they've been abandoned. So 3 lots of tragedy. The first lot, the old bones in the floor, the bony soil. The second lot, the people who were basically murdered and pushed down here in a cart. And the third lot, the poor mining people, I can only assume they were miners, who have been sent down here to try to recover the document. They recovered it, but there is no way out. The ceiling is too high, the walls are too slick, and there are so many monsters. So this is a superb bit of storytelling. I love the scrolls, I love the whole thing. I cannot come in here yet. Look at it. This is absolutely infested with the most awful monsters. So what I'm going to do is to go back home. Yeah, you're waiting for me on the doorstep. You can see some of the cave-ins, and you can see what happened here, and you can see that you're so low down that your gear will keep going. So we have to go up. There was another cave in here, but we can get up out of some of these side areas. And as we go up, yes, there we are. Excellent. So the story of the quarry becomes clearer. Wow. And now a temporal storm is imminent. I do not want to be here in a temporal storm. Let me hurry home. What superb storytelling. Well done everybody on that one. The Halite quarry is gorgeous, and the storytelling is very, very sad and very, very evocative. So that's as far as we can get at the moment with the tale and the history of the Halite quarry. Can we get further? Now that will be interesting, won't it? Bye bye, my friends.